Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. As we close out season 2 of Cup of Cocoa and Chat, I want to take a moment to reflect on the lessons, challenges, growth, and unexpected blessings that shaped this season, right? In this special season finale, yes, we're going on a summer reset. I will share what I've learned about self discipline, boundaries, consistency, wellness, and just trusting my voice. I've also opened up about the challenges of navigating health issues, finding support in unexpected places, and continuing to show up even when life feels difficult. Okay?
Grab your cup of cocoa, coffee, tea, or whatever you are sipping and get cozy. Here we share and start the morning with a positive vibe. So let's reset, recharge, and reconnect right here on Cup of Cocoa and Chat. I'm Princess, host of Cup of Cocoa and Chat.
So, again, hello everyone, and welcome to Cup of Cocoa and Chat. I am Princess, your host, and today is a very special episode because it marks the season 2 finale. But before we begin, I want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whether you've been listening since episode 1, joined during season 2, watched my recaps on Facebook, followed my Facebook stories, or simply stopped by from time to time, thank you for allowing me into your space. Every listen, every comment, every share, and encouraging message means more than you know. So as we close out season 2, I thought it would be the perfect time to reflect on what this season taught me, what surprised me, the challenges I faced, and what I plan to carry with me into season 3. And if you're new here, I encourage you to go back and revisit season 1 and season 2, which both are on Spotify, here on Spotify and YouTube, okay? They are conversations about self-awareness, discipline, boundaries, growth, wellness, money, relationships, and so much more. Every episode represents a different chapter of this journey. So let's start off with the biggest lessons I've learned from season 2. Biggest lessons from season 2. One of the biggest lessons I've learned this season is the importance of self discipline. Not to be confused with motivation, just discipline, right? There were days when I was tired, in pain, mentally exhausted, like you have no idea, or simply didn't feel like showing up. But I've learned that consistency isn't about feeling motivated every day, it's about making a commitment and honoring it, right? And if nothing, I am a woman of my word. I've learned how to have difficult conversations, right? I've learned how to keep moving forward even when my body was telling me to slow down. I've learned that boundaries are not punishment. Setting limits on what people have access to when it comes to my peace. I've learned energy, setting those limits for my energy to keep my energy bright and to keep my well being, right? I've learned that those things doesn't mean I love any of those people, family members, whomever, that I love them less. It means I value enough to protect what matters to me, right? I also learned my time is valuable. My ideas are valuable. My opinions are valuable. And I don't have to change who I am or what I believe simply to make other people comfortable, right? Here's a then versus now reflection about myself, right? When season 2 started in October, right? When season 2 started in October, I was still learning how to trust my voice, right? I was worried about what people would think. I pivoted a couple of times. Um, I did lives on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I did a lot of things, right? Um, because I was still seeking validation from people who weren't necessarily supporting me, right? But today I understand that that purpose doesn't require permission from anyone, right? I've become more confident in my voice, my brand, and my message, right? So basically, that is what the season taught me in a nutshell, right? Well, not what it taught me. I'm sorry. It basically, in a nutshell, was the biggest lessons that I learned from season 2. So now we're going to talk about what surprised me. What surprised me? One of the biggest surprises this season was realizing that the support I expected from family and friends wasn't always there. And that was difficult, right? That was difficult. There were moments when I discovered that some of the people I thought would automatically support my podcast and content, they weren't even listening. They weren't listening at all. Some people still think I spend days simply playing on the internet all day, right? Shame on them. Shame on them. But what surprised me even more was discovering support in unexpected places. Now, I started off this episode with reading just a little bit of the description, just a little bit, right? And then I got right into the show. Right? So that was a little different for this episode because I normally go right into the show. After my intro music, right into the show. But I read a little bit of the description. Right? But back to what I was saying, what surprised me. Another thing that surprised me, other than not getting the support I thought I would have, but discovering support in unexpected places. Strangers became supporters. Some strangers became friends. People I've never met in person encouraged me, shared my content, listened to episodes, and helped me continue building this brand. And that support reminded me that sometimes your assignment isn't for the people closest to you. And that's okay. That's okay. You know? That's okay. Sometimes it's for people you are meant to reach, right? Here's another thing that surprised me. While constantly recording my podcast every Monday with 49 episodes behind me, yes, 49 behind me, because this is episode number 50, right? Season 2 finale. Um, I was also growing my Facebook audience, right? Extending my Black History Month facts that I started in February, continuing it up until this day with a birthday series called Coco Quick Facts. You know, I post that on my socials every day. Creating real, supporting my brand, and most importantly, I was building relationships with you, my listeners, right? Because sometimes we focus so much on where we're trying to go that we forget to celebrate how far we've already come, right? You know? So reaching 50 episodes across 2 seasons is an accomplishment. It's a big accomplishment, right? Many people talk about starting a podcast. Very few stay consistent long enough to reach 50 episodes. So that's worth celebrating, and that I shall do, right? When I hit the record button for episode number 1 back in April of 2025, I never imagined I would be sitting here recording episode 50. Yet here we are, and I couldn't be more grateful. I couldn't be more grateful. So those are the things that surprised me, you know, while doing all of the things that I was doing. My supporters were there for me, and I am so grateful. I am so grateful. Now, this season wasn't without challenges, right? There were days when I struggled with fatigue, days when pain from rheumatoid arthritis made it difficult to do what I wanted to do. There were mental health challenges. There were moments of disappointment. And there were moments when I felt hurt by the lack of support from people I thought would always have my back. You know? There were also personal challenges behind the scenes, including caring for loved ones. Um, for instance, Mercedes and her illness, right? Navigating difficult moments like that has reminded me how precious time truly is, right? I faced health challenges that reminded me how important wellness truly is. Those experiences led me to make changes, including beginning my wellness reset journey that I talked about a few episodes back, and starting GLP-1. That's the first time that I said that, said it out loud or shared it, you know. But I've started that to improve my overall health, right? Excuse me. But one lesson I've learned is that rest is productive, right? So I rest when I need to, right? Sometimes strength looks like pushing forward, and sometimes strength looks like stepping back. And both of those are necessary. So those are the challenges and the outcome of some of the challenges that I faced in season 2. Now, what this podcast gives me. This podcast gives me purpose. It gives me a creative outlook. It gives me a creative outlet. It gives me a place to share my thoughts. It gives me a way to connect with people beyond my immediate circle. And on some difficult days, it gives me a reason to keep showing up. So this has been therapeutic for me. Very therapeutic. You have no idea how it has helped me. Now, what my audience has taught me. My audience has taught me something incredibly important, right? What I do matters. What I do matters. Whether there are 10 listeners or 1,000 listeners, someone is listening. And that's all I ever wanted, was to get through to at least one person. You know, all of the episodes may not resonate with you, but at least one of them, I'm sure, resonates with one of you or more of you. I don't know. You know, just it brings me such joy just to know someone's learning, they're listening, someone is encouraged, and someone is feeling seen. And I know all of this from either emails I receive, comments I receive, people asking me to go live, to start going back live, and the different requests that I've gotten over the span from April of 25 until now, right? So someone is feeling seen, and I feel like I've helped someone, right? And sometimes the message I needed most was reflected back, right? Through those requests. You know, my audience has taught me that showing up consistently makes a difference. You taught me that positivity still has a place in a world that often feels heavy. You've taught me that kindness still matters, and for that I am deeply grateful. Some of my favorite moments, right? So, if you are new to Cup of Cocoa and Chats, I encourage you to go back and listen to some of the conversations that helped shape this season, right? From season 1 to now. Specifically, episode 26. That was the first episode in season 2, which was Faith in Motion, the power of the pivot. Right? It was a continuation from season 1. Another favorite of mine is episode 28, Protecting Your Peace, because I'm all about protecting my peace. I also enjoyed bringing to you episode number 34, which was showing up for your life even when it's hard, because I do it every day. Another one of my favorites is number 47, episode 47. The mirror doesn't lie. What is your life showing you, right? Because I often look in the mirror and see things that I didn't always know that was there, right? So, what am I carrying into season 3? As I prepare for season 3, I'm carrying forward everything I've learned from season 1 and season 2. I'm bringing greater confidence, stronger boundaries, and more discipline, right? I am being more intentional about my brand, my voice, and my content. So season 3 begins July 6th, 2026. And I'm excited about where we headed. We're going to have deeper conversations, more meaningful discussions, and I can't wait to continue that journey with you. Okay? Now, let's get into just to touch on it a little bit, why I am taking a summer reset. One, every season needs time to develop into the next season, right? So for me, between season 1 and season 2, I only took like a 1 week. I think my last episode in season 1 might have been September 20 something, and then my first episode in season 2 was like was October 8th, right? I couldn't even get that out. So I think it was about a week. This time I'm just taking a few more extra days. But um, many people think rest means quitting, right? And it doesn't. Rest is just preparation. This summer break is intentional, right? I need the rest, number one. Um, I need time to think. I need time to plan, research, create, and to focus on my health and wellness, right? Because I need to refill my own cup. Because if I'm going to continue bringing meaningful conversations to you, I need to make sure I'm taking care of myself too. So this reset isn't an ending, it's just a reset. It's making room for growth, and it's preparing for the best season yet, which is season 3. Okay? So, to my listeners, some of you have listened from the beginning. Some of you found me through a reel. Some of you found me through a recap. Some of you found me through Coco Quick Facts, right? However you found me, thank you. I really appreciate you. You didn't have to spend your time with me, but you did, right? And I appreciate each and every one of you. And I promise to bring more episodes that we all can resonate with, right? So, season 3 preview. Before I go, let me give you a little preview of what's coming in season 3. Season 3 is going to be epic. Season 3 will continue what Cup of Cocoa and Chat has always been about, which is just real conversation, real experiences, and real growth. We're going deeper. We're talking about things that many people experience but don't always discuss openly. We'll be exploring topics like being an introvert in a world that celebrates being loud, right? Living with shyness and finding your voice like I did. Reinventing yourself after 50. Friendship, support, and disappointment. The difference between being alone and being lonely. protecting your peace without feeling guilty. What healthy boundaries really look like. We're going to be talking about wellness, aging, and taking care of ourselves. Purpose, passion, and finding joy in this season of our life. And learning to trust yourself again. I got you whether you are female or male, age 18 or beyond 60. I got you. Right? Season 3 got you. Right? You'll hear more personal stories from me. You'll hear more reflection. You'll hear more honest conversations. Hopefully, I will have a couple of guests. I'm looking forward to that. You'll continue to see, well, and hopefully you will continue to see yourself somewhere in these discussions, right? So my goal for season 3 is just simple: to create a space where we can learn, grow, laugh, reflect, and remind each other that none of us are navigating life alone. So while I'm taking this summer reset, know that I am already planning, researching, and preparing for what I believe will be the most meaningful season yet. Have lunch at 2 p.m. And I'm sorry, Alexis is reminding me to have lunch. So I'm going to give you a little reminder. Season 3 begins July the 6th, 2026 at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I cannot wait to sit down and have another conversation with my friends. Season 2 taught me how to show up, and season 3 is about showing up as my most authentic self. So as we close season 2, I want you to remember something. Give yourself grace. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Protect your peace. And never underestimate the power of small, consistent steps. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting Cup of Cocoa and Chats. I look forward to seeing you again when season 3 returns on July the 6th, 2026. Until then, enjoy your summer. Take care of yourself. And remember, peace, blessings, and I love you guys. And I'm going to miss you guys. See you then.